Hello, welcome to the Iron Orchid Designs Facebook page. My name is Shannon Stefanacci and I am with Pickin Vintage down in sunny Southwest Florida. And today we are going to be creating. We're going to have so much fun. I'm very excited about today. All last week I kind of was playing with what we're going to do today, and I'm going to show you some different techniques. Real quick, I'm going to pull up the comments area and let's just see. I want to make sure I'm in the right place with the right people. So give me a like, give me a hello, tell me where you're from. Tell me, have you ever used the Bella stamp? That's what we're going to be using today. There we go. Barb from Portland. Yes. Okay. So I know I'm in the right place. And real quick, I want to show, this is what I did 2 weeks ago. This little fun little Fox and the Hound Tavern sign with the letters. And everybody kept telling me, why is the fox chasing the hound? Well, it is called the Fox and the Hound, so that's why I put them on here. But I'm just telling everybody that the hound is chasing the fox, but the fox is sneaky, so he's sneaking up on him. All right. So let's get into what we're going to do. So first off, I'm just going to show you, because I like to start with, what are we going to do today? So this is what we're going to do. So we are going to talk about the Bella stamp. So here is one pattern that I'm going to show you how to make today. Simple, plain, easy, but dramatic. This is just white background with some, I think it's the stone color. Yes, the stone. I was playing so much, I'm not exactly sure which one. So that is just the basic, how to lay it out. The next one we're going to do is something similar to this. Now, if you guys have seen lately the grandma chic or like the trendy wallpaper that everybody's hanging up, this is going to be similar to that. And then finally, we're going to finish with something a little bit more elegant. This one has blended paint in the background with some white and some gold. And we're going to really spend some time on this one. But before we do, let me get rid of that. I'm going to put this on there. What I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how you start with your stamp. So it's very important. Let me just split the screen real quick. Hey, Donna. Oh, good. I'm glad. Thanks, Bob. I'm glad that somebody is learning from me. All right, let me split my screen real quick. So A, B. So here is the Bella stamp. Let me get my screen away. So they all come packaged in this beautiful container. And then on the back, there are some great examples. And it'll show you a picture of what is all included, all the different stamps. So this is what I do. First thing I do is I open it up. I'm going to need 2 for this one, so I'm using a whole new one. There we are. So there's the stamp. Now you'll notice it comes with a protective coating on it, protective plastic piece. So you just pull that off. And I always save these for something because you never know when you might need it. So I just have a little pile of those. Now this is a step that some people do tend to forget, but it's very, very important. Now, let me just turn it this way. You want to distress your stamps. So when I say distress your stamps, you need to take some sandpaper and sand the surface of all the stamps, because that will allow the stamps to take the medium and give a better impression when you go to use them. So I'm just gonna show you, because I don't know if you've ever seen it or you didn't know that. I'm sure if you're watching, you probably already know that, but just in case if there's anybody new, it's very important information about your stamps. You want to make sure. So you can't really tell, but where I'm sanding, it's changed colors, lighter gray compared to the dark black. That way you'll know what you have sanded and what you haven't. Don't worry, you're not going to ruin your stamps. You're not going to sand them so much that you won't get an impression. But you definitely want to do this to make sure you get a good print of your design. All right. Now, next thing I'm going to do with this stamp, I don't always do them with all of them, but with this one, for sure, I'm going to cut out the design. Now there is a reason for that. And my reason is when I go to use this stamp, I could always peel it off and stick it on a different piece of plastic or a thin mount. But you know what? There's one already built on, and this one is flexible. And I just like to use these. Another reason is because, see this part in the middle? Let me just cut this off real quick. This piece here in the middle. Like if you ever want to do a pattern, I don't want to have to pull it off and then try to guess where it goes because it already shows me. When I take this off, I'll tell you what I'm talking about. When I take this off, the print is here. So I know exactly where I need to line it up if I want to do a stamp with all of it at the same time. So I just leave it on here because then I know exactly where it is. Another thing that I do on this stamp, especially, I'm not really a perfectionist when it comes to this, but I know some people are. So I just want to give you one of the things that I do. Ooh, that'd be great. Yeah, for sure. On the concrete. Let me put that up there. So Tracy wants to use this stamp in concrete. I've never done the concrete with this stamp. Well, the paint takes differently than the ink does. The paint absolutely does work. If you want to use an outdoor paint, absolutely. But the ink can work too, but you just need to seal it with a cement sealer, especially if it's going to be outside. All right. Woo, 54 degrees in Oregon. Oh my goodness. I think it was 100 here in Fort Myers yesterday. Woo. Okay, this is what I do. I measure my stamp. Actually, I'm going to go this way. And the stamp is 12 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark it halfway at 6 inches. The reason for this is when I'm going to line it up, if I've drawn pencil lines across, I know I can see on my plastic so it doesn't get turned like this. I can see my lines and I can line it up. So that way it'll be a straight design and my design will not be crooked. Does that make sense? All right, so I do that. Now, for this design, let me just show you the first one. With this one here, let's see, 107. Oh, was it that hot? Oh my goodness. I guess my car doesn't read that hot. Whew. Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed that tip. Oh, and one other thing, let me just tell you. Now, yes, I cut my stamp apart, and it's okay. I have all the parts. See this? I have all the parts. But what I do is I do two things. Is first, I use the IOD envelopes. I shove it all in. That way, they don't drop. I don't lose them. But then, I just take them, and I have these little scrapbook bins. I sell them at the store. You can get them at the craft store. And you just pile them in. And then you don't lose your stamps. They're all together. Like this. These work really, really good for the alphabets because sometimes some of the alphabets can come loose or whatever. And if they do fall off, you don't want to have to be looking on the floor for an E. Okay, so that's my second tip of the day. That is great organization. And you don't have to put in the scrapbook containers. You can put in filing cabinets or whatever kind of system you want. But those envelopes work beautifully. All right. Especially if you're like me and you cut your stamps up. All right. Now, let's get to this. So for all of my stamping today, except for the first one, we're just going to use the out part. So I pulled this part off. Now, again, this is why I keep this on here, is because if I need to go back and I want to use a whole entire stamp, I don't have to try to guess on another piece. I can tell by just lining it up where, oops, that's upside down, see? Where it goes. And then I can line it perfectly, so then when I need to use it, it's all aligned and perfect. But for right now, we're not going to do that. Now this one here is, oh good, Tracy, yeah, see that it works perfect, doesn't it? She uses the envelopes too, and they sometimes they do come off, and but having those envelopes definitely saves you, and you can find them again. And then if you have any problems with getting them stick, sometimes I'll just use some quilter spray, like repositional spray, and just it'll hold it on. Sometimes though, just simply cleaning it and laying it upside down to dry takes care of it. All right, so with this one, I'm going to put this up here. So, you'll notice that it is a repeating pattern, even though I only stamped it, let's see, I stamped it once here and then once here, but this part here creates this same design here. So you really want to be careful. You want to make sure that you're lining it up correctly. And to line it up correctly, you need to have them touch, like here. See how the edges are touching? If you have the edges touching in the middle, it'll make the exact same pattern with this stamp. You don't have to do it like that. You might just want to have them separated. It totally depends on the look you're going for. Now I have this door here, as you've probably already seen part of it. I've got the paint blended. There's blues and a little bit of shades of green in here. We're going to have some fun with this one. The top part is going to be really an elegant look, and the bottom part we're going to create that grandma chic, colorful, the wallpaper that's so trending right now that everybody's putting on the walls. Well, this way you can create your own. So let's get started with, now this one is really elegant and I love it, love it, love it. What we're going to need though is we're going to need our inks. Let me grab mine. Somehow it got over here. Now normally when I'm using my inks, I use a brayer because I want a nice thick even coat. Well, not thick, but just a nice even coat. But for the look that I'm going for today, which is this, let me see if I can get that up here. This beautiful, elegant look, I don't need crisp lines. I want it to look old and distressed. I want it to be where it is, where it looks like it's old wallpaper, like Victorian or maximalist wallpaper. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get my ink pad with the white. And I did load it with some ink this morning. And all I do is, I'm just going to take it off of here because I don't want it to, actually, let me just use this. So I'm just going to take the white and I'm going to stamp around here because I'm only, this is the stamp part. I want to make sure I get it with the white. So this is how a lot of people do it. And this is a good way to put the ink on if you only want just a little bit of ink. But if you want a more even coat, I always use my brayer and the ink, and it goes on super smooth, and it gives you a nice, good imprint. However, hold on, I forgot to do something. I forgot to measure the middle of my door. I want to make sure that I put the stamp on in the center. So this is 21 inches, and I want the edge of the stamp to go right in the middle because I'm going to create that repeating pattern. Do it one more time here. So it's 21 inches, so I'm going to mark it exactly 10 and a half. All right, put that to the side. Put a little bit more ink on just in case some of it dried. Now I'm not going for a pristine, perfect imprint. I want this to be a little uneven. I want it to look old. All right, so we have that. And I'm going to start down here. Now my mark is right here, so that's the center. So I want to make sure that this lines up with the center, so when I do a repeating pattern, it'll be centered and it'll look nice. So let me just, down from the bottom. Now what I'm going to do, I laid it down. It's kind of in this, let me see, I'll just squish this down. There we go. Turn. There we go. I'm just going to trace with my finger and push lightly where the white ink was on the stamp. Pick it up. And there we have it. I'm going to do it again. I don't have to re-ink every time. So the next one after this one, I'm going to show you what it looks like without it being re-inked. Okay, so now to keep that pattern going, I need to touch it side by side. And what I mean by that is, see the edge? Can you see that? I want the edge to touch, meaning these two edges, because what this is creating is the same pattern here. You'll be able to see it better when I get it over here. I always work on big projects, and sometimes it's hard to get it all in the camera, especially when you want to get it up close. All right, let's see. There we go. So you can see the new pattern starting. Can I zoom that out anymore? Let me raise this up so we can now see more over here. Okay. So I'm going to do this one without re-inking it, just so you can see. Now I can line up with these. Oh, good, Deborah. You're going to love this stamp. Hey, Linda. So you're going to line it up here. And I'm going to give a firm press because I didn't re-ink this one. So I want to make sure I press a little bit harder because there's not quite as much ink on there. Pull it up. And there we have it. Now this is the tricky part. This is the part where you know if you have done it right because it'll line up. Let me get some more ink on here with my stamp pad. All right. Here we go. So I'm going to put this, line this up here, and it should touch right there. Give a nice firm press. Now you will see, wow, look, see, this is the exact same. It creates the same thing in the middle. Oh, good, CC, I'm glad you like it. But we're not done yet. Wait till you see. I'm looking on my screen here, and it doesn't really show the blues that I use. It's they're a little bit more vibrant than what's showing up on my screen. I did it with some shading and some blending because I wanted it to look like old traditional wallpaper. But we're going to do a couple more stamps, and then we're going to have the fun part of this. This is the part where we get to decorate it a little bit more, make it look truly like vintage wallpaper. Put some more white on here. Oh, good, Tracy. I'm glad you like it. I will put this video on my YouTube channel, so you can always refer back to it. Or if you ever have any questions, you can definitely ask me. If you are interested in the Bella stamp, we have a lot of online retailers, or on the website, there is a directory of retailers. So go there and look up a retailer that is near you, and you will not be disappointed with this Bella stamp. So, it is beautiful. But there are a lot of retailers out there. This is the new stamp, and there is just so much you can do with it. All right, let me see if I can get one more print without having to ink it up. All right, let's see. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to finish the pattern out real quick, and then I know it's not in the camera, so I'm just going to go ahead and just do it with whatever ink is left on. And this side. Now the part that makes this is the gold. We are going to be adding some gold to this, and we're going to be using different parts of the stamp because there are all these pieces. We have the center piece, which we're not going to use yet. We're going to save this part for the Grandma Chic wallpaper. But there's these corner pieces. There's this long trim, and there's a circle medallion, and then there's a couple more corner pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this one right here. Let's see. I'm just going to stick this to the side for just a second. And here it is. This is the one that I used. I was playing with this one. And so we're just going to go ahead and use it because it already has the gold ink on it. Now, when I say gold ink, you can use whatever kind of gold you want. You can use gilding wax. You can use gold paint. You can use gold leaf. Whatever you want. There's several brands out there. I'm not going to be brand specific, but all I'm going to do... Oh, where'd my paintbrush go? I just had it. Hold on. Bear with me. Of course. Here you are. I found it. Ta-da! All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of this gold, and I'm just going to brush it lightly on the stamp. You see that? And I don't need the print to be perfect because that's not the look that we're going for on here. But I'm going to put some in the up here in the corner. You can't see that one right there, but you're going to be able to see this one. Oh, no. My camera angle is not the best. I apologize. So let's put, let me just show it to you. See the gold right here? Yes. Out of focus. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's because I'm moving the camera. I apologize. So we're just going to skip the corners because you can't see that right now. Let's just get right to the good stuff. What we're going to do is, this is my second Bella stamp. I like to use two purely because the gold on here can be get a little sticky, and I don't want to have to put the paint and mix it with the gold. And sometimes this gold comes off a little, it's a little bit more difficult to get off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my brush here and I'm just going to put some gold on here. Again, it does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be 100% coverage. I do want to make sure though that I don't put too much on because I really don't want it to smear. I'm not concerned though if I get some on the other lines. Wait till you see this. This would look really cool with real gold leaf. So you could use the gold leaf glue, stamp it, and then apply the gold leaf on top. That would be beautiful. Except for, I don't have time for that. We don't have time for that all to dry and all that. So let me stick this to the side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply stick it right over. Let's do this one. This one's right in focus. Right over the current stamp, the white. And I'm going to just lightly go over the stamp with the gold. Now when I pull this off, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to be I don't want it to be perfect. I just want gold mixed with the white. There we go. Can you see that? It's the gold. Now there's still a lot of gold on here, so I'm going to use the same thing right over here. This time I'm going to push it a little harder. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, we could dust gold inside. We can make little gold patterns. You can do whatever you want with the gold. For right now, though, we're just going to stick with the pattern. What do you guys think? Do you like the gold with this? Again, the white is the mixing white or the white ink from IOD. The inks are fantastic. I love to use them. Put some more on here. All right. Stamp it a couple more times. Get this one here. And we'll go up here. And you'll notice that the gold is heavier in certain areas and lighter in other areas. Different. This one's shadowed a little. That's okay because when they printed wallpaper back in the day, it wasn't perfect. I'll use this again. And one more time here. I'll put this in there. Thank you, Tricia. Ta-da! And so now we have this set of gold. So we can totally leave it like this, Or we could take, let me show you some of the other parts. We could take the medallion. Oops, it's sticking. The circle, and we could put circle here, or we could put it right where they meet, maybe here, or, you know, over here. Not every one, but different ones. Should we try that? Just see what it looks like? Why not? Good, Barb. I'm glad you enjoyed some of my tips. Actually, I'm going to leave that on there. I'm just going to cut this one off. And let's put some gold on there. And I'm going to put it where some of these meet. So I'm just going to brush some gold on here. Again, I'm not going for perfection. I'm just going to brush some on. Sploosh it around. Oh, so I was at a painting seminar this weekend, and I got to meet some fabulous IOD enthusiasts and IOD stockists. So it was very nice to meet you all this weekend. So if you happen to catch us on the replay or anything, it was nice to meet you guys. Okay, so let me put this here. And then we're going to do it right. Just kind of lightly push and then lift. Okay, so that is not perfect, but it's perfect for me. Those of you that follow me know that does not have to be perfect. There's another one. Look at that. Woo. I'll do this one here. And one more here. Oh, good. I'm glad. Tracy, I'm so happy. All right, we'll do some up here. I know it's probably not on the screen, but we're going to do it anyway. So, again, now this part of the door is done. I could always add more gold, but I don't want to overdo it. And plus, I know you all have other things you need to do. But before we end, I need to show you how to do the other part. So, let's get set up for that. So I'm going to show you how to take the stamp, make it where it is like grandma chic. That's what they're calling it, I guess. Like the trendy wallpaper, and with a bunch of colors. And we're going to do it on the bottom part of the door. So I'm just going to kind of shift my gears a little bit and move some of this out of the way. And I'm going to want to do, I just really, really like this, the one with the gold. And I'm going to use a different camera angle here. I've got this right here. Let me see. I'll pull it up here. So this is what the door looks like. And it's still, and even in this camera angle, you can't really see the brilliant blues, but you can definitely see the gold. And some places are a little bit brighter. See the gold? Some places are a little darker, but there it is. And of course, I will take pictures. I will take pictures and I will post them. Last quick thing. If you do something with the Bella stamp, I would love for you to tag me at Pickin Boots Vintage. I always love to see what people create. So you guys have a fabulous day, and thank you so much for joining me.